Hi friends, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is looking into what is going to happen the next time the two of you see one another. And I have 4 piles for you guys to choose from today. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's, and I will see you in a minute. Hi pile 1. So today's pick a card reading is looking into what is going to happen the next time you see this person. So before we get started, we're going to go ahead and look into what the connecting energies are between the two of you right now, as well as how each person is showing up in this connection currently. And we'll go from there. So to start pile 1, we have perfection. Number 29, breathe. And number 6, divine feminine. And then person 1 is showing up as the poet. The light attribute is expresses soul insights and symbolic language. And the shadow attribute is turns a lyric gift into a negative or destructive effect. And person 2 is currently showing up in the energy of the saboteur. The light attribute is highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. And the shadow attribute is induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Okay, so it seems to me like this connection may have imploded in some type of way in the recent past. It seems like both parties here first and foremost, both parties here seem to be taking a break from this connection. It seems like neither party wants to be the first one to reach out, or neither party wants to be the one to put in the effort or take an action toward this connection. I feel as though there's been some damage that's been done on both ends of this connection, on both sides, in the sense of perhaps this saboteur person acted in a way that was sabotaging to the connection as well as simply sabotaging to themselves. And it feels like the poet person perhaps spoke truths that were in fact truthful, but could have potentially been very, very harsh or hurtful. And it seems like both parties have caused damage or harm to one another in some sort of way. And now there's this recognition between the two of them to kind of take a step back and regroup and think about things and decide whether or not this is something that is worth salvaging. I kind of get the feeling with perfection here. Not only do I feel like there were harsh truths that were said, but I also feel as though both parties are kind of currently questioning whether or not this connection is really in alignment with who they are, or perhaps like there's just questions. There's a lot of questioning going on here about whether or not the choices that were made were the right ones, or whether or not the choices that they want to make in the future are of benefit to both parties. There's a lot of concern here for what is the best course of action for everyone involved. And at the moment, because there is such confusion, there is such I think there's wounds here as well that are being licked currently, and neither person necessarily wants to come forward because both people here feel hurt. And of course, like, your perspective might be different from what I'm seeing. But based on what I'm seeing, both people are feeling hurt or are feeling as though this is harmful in some type of way. emotionally. This isn't something that's bringing about a lot of positivity or growth at the moment, although there are lessons to be learned here. And I think with breathe, this is something that the two of you are kind of recognizing, is that there's a lesson here within this connection. There's not necessarily anything indicating that more good can come from perhaps being in union. And of course, this is just current energy. We're going to go ahead and look into what's going to happen the next time you two see one another. But right now, I would say that the wounds are still somewhat fresh, even if some time has passed. And there's still a desire on both ends to kind of regroup and take space. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into tarot and see what comes through. Let's go ahead and see what is going to happen between pile 1 and their person the next time they see each other. What is going to happen between pile 1 and their person the next time they see one another? Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, okay, too many. Oh no. Okay, I have to go get those. They flew very far. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. Okay, sorry about that, pile 1. Those cards flew very far. Nothing flipped over, so we're going to keep going. What is going to happen between pile 1 and their person the next time they see one another? We have the Page of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups. Why is the Queen of Pentacles here? We have the Queen of Wands. Why is the Ten of Wands here? We have the Two of Swords. Why is the Page of Cups here? We have the Lovers. Why is the Seven of Pentacles here? Okay. We have the Seven of Cups, and we have the Page of Pentacles. And why is the Knight of Cups here? We have the Eight of Cups. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Four of Wands. Okay. So the first thing that I noticed with this Four of Wands is that this could very well be a meeting in which there's like a gathering of some kind. There's a party or perhaps a show, a concert of some kind, or like even like maybe a wedding. It seems like the next time you two see one another, it could very well be at a social event. That doesn't have to be the case, but that's something that did come through with this Four of Wands. So what's going to happen the next time the two of you see one another? The thing that stands out the most, there's 4 cards that stand out the most to me and give the clearest message. And that's the Ten of Wands, the Two of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Lovers. There seems to be an attempt at reconciliation and at an attempt at going back or bringing back the connection to the way in which it was. The next time you two see one another, it seems as though one of you is going to be making that move towards trying to set things right, and also towards putting this connection on a path that is one where the two of you are in union. There's a recognition here when the two of you see one another again, where the burden of having carried this connection is suddenly going to be something where you're questioning whether or not it was really ever all that bad, like whether or not this connection really needs to be released, is what I would say. It seems like there's going to be confusion here. And I see it with the 10 of Wands and the 2 of Swords, but I also see confusion in the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is all about confusion. It's about not knowing what to choose. The 2 of Swords is about choices, so is the Lovers, and so is the 7 of Cups. The 2 of Swords is about indecision, the Lovers is about making a choice, and the 7 of Cups is about not knowing what to choose. So there's a lot here indicating that there is going to be confusion. And I think that part of this has to do with the fact that there's recognition that this connection may have reached its expiration, but at the same time feeling as though there's more to it than there's conflicting feelings here of understanding that perhaps this connection has reached an end, perhaps this connection has really grown as much as it can, and also feeling as though you as a person or them as a person or the both of you as people still have a lot of growing to do, and therefore this connection could take a different route. I'm not necessarily sure if like the next time the two of you see one another, there will actually be like immediate, like I see an attempt being made or an offer being kind of given to repair this. But with the Knight of Cups and the 8 of Cups here, I think it's going to take some time. I think after this interaction, there's definitely going to be space again or time taken again in order to decide what the truth of what it is that the two of you are feeling is, what the truth of what the two of you want actually is. But I do see, with this 4 of Wands being the bottom of the deck energy, I do see two people who are genuinely going to be finding joy in seeing one another. It seems like by the time the two of you see one another again, a lot of the fresh wounds are kind of going to be healed. It's not going to be like a bitter interaction by any means. It seems to be one that like is really intentional. The interactions between the two of you are intentionally trying to be healthy. There's definitely going to still be desire, like there's going to still be a spark between the two of you. But also with this Queen of Pentacles, there's going to be an element of being grounded, like the two of you have worked on these wounds that perhaps both of you created for one another. And that's healed now, and there isn't such a tumultuous type of energy between the two of you. The desire is still there, the passion's still there, but it's not being mistaken for passion when it's simply just dysfunction or chaos. It seems to be much more stable. The two of you both seem to be much more emotionally stable the next time the two of you see one another. I sense that maybe one of you might be feeling more passionate than the other. Like one of you may be feeling a little bit more kind of practical about the situation, whereas obviously one of you is going to be the one to bring this Page of Cups energy. But overall, it seems like there's going to be curiosity that's piqued, and certain questions are going to start coming to the surface about like what if, or maybe this time ... is kind of what I'm picking up on. But let's go ahead and get a few more oracles before we close this out and see what else comes through. What is going to happen between pile 1 and their person the next time they see one another? Okay, so we have number 58, afraid of the attic. We have number 67, visions. What's going to happen between pile 1 and their person the next time they see one another? We have number 24, the gallery of those who came before. And we have cosmic exploration. And then on the back of the deck, we have share tenderness. Okay, so there's definitely, I feel like with the gallery of those who came before, there's definitely going to be reminiscing involved. There's going to be kind of looking back on things. The two of you are going to be looking back on things, and it seems to be looking back on the positives of this connection. There's going to be reminiscing here, and I think that that's going to be an energy that's kind of carried on with the two of you after this interaction happens. There's going to be reflection, more reflection, and thinking of past memories, and it's going to kind of trigger this, you know, this Two of Swords type of energy of suddenly questioning whether or not the decisions that the two of you have made in the past were actually the right ones. And with the afraid of the attic here, this is telling me that there's going to be an element of fear or of kind of resistance when it comes to exploring those feelings of not feeling sure of your decision anymore. But there's going to be this calling that comes with it for the two of you. And there's going to be not only an element of like questioning the past decisions, but also an element with visions here and cosmic exploration. There's going to be an element of the both of you really kind of letting your thoughts wander into what it could be like in the future if the two of you were to work on things again. And then for the bottom of the deck to be shared tenderness, this is telling me that like I was saying, I'm not sensing any negative type of interactions between the two of you or anything where past hurts are still kind of being played out. It seems more so like this is going to be a gentle and sweet reunion where the two of you kind of remember why you two connected in the first place. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice and see what comes through. What advice is there for pile 1? Okay, we have 2 cards. We have beauty. I'm beautiful even when I don't think it. I'm beautiful even when I don't see it. I'm beautiful no matter how many people don't say it. I'm beautiful and I don't even care if you know it. I'm beautiful, which is why I don't have to try so hard all the time to show it. And we also have worthiness. I am worthy of the ultimate happiness. I deserve and accept it, and damn it, I'm not going to feel guilty about it when I get it. Guilt is not invited to my happiness party. I won't even tell him where it's at. If he asks about it, I'll be like, no, I think you're thinking of something else, and then I'll run away very quickly. So these 2 cards are kind of indicating that perhaps your own feelings of self-worth or your own self-esteem has perhaps been damaged by what transpired. Perhaps you're looking back at this connection and wishing that you had behaved in a way that was more in alignment with who you truly are, or perhaps this person really made you feel as though you weren't worth what it is that you are in fact worthy of. But both of these cards are really encouraging you to validate yourself and love yourself and not seek that outside of yourself for the time being, to really try to nurture yourself, to make yourself feel better after such a tumultuous time. Let's also go ahead and get just a couple more cards. Let's see what else comes through. What advice is there? Okay, we have Love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. I think that this is definitely a calling for self-love right now. But let's see what else comes through. What advice is there? And we have abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. All right, pile one. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you guys today. If this resonated, please share in the comment section if you feel comfortable doing so. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. The link is in the description of this video. And thank you so much. I hope that I will have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye. Hello, pile two. Today's pick a card reading is looking into what is going to happen the next time you see your person. And before we get into that, we're going to look at what is currently going on between the two of you, as well as how both of you are showing up in this connection. And then we'll get into what it is that is going to happen. So if these cards don't resonate, this probably isn't your pile, and I would suggest either looking at a different pile, or perhaps there's just not a message for you in my video today. But to start, pile two, we have the card Impatience. We have Dissipating. Number 15, Message in a Bottle. Number 5, Orphaned. And number 12, Relief. Person 1 is currently showing up as the King. The light attributes are enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. And the shadow attributes are excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Person number 2 is showing up as Lover. The light attributes are great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. And the shadow attributes are obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. And we have the Child Eternal. The light attributes are determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes, and the shadow attributes are an inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. Okay, so what is currently going on between the two of you? It feels like this connection is one that has been going around in cycles and has not necessarily been changing with those cycles going round and round. Like things continue to stay the same. I kind of get the feeling that one of you is really wanting to hold the other person accountable, or really wanting to place expectations on another person, but it feels as though this might be somewhat forced. And it could very well be because the other person is somebody who is hot and cold, and so at times it feels as though it's a good thing to put those expectations on them, whereas other times they kind of take a step back or start running, and then those expectations seem really futile. But it just seems like this connection is one that has gone through many different cycles, and nothing really has changed, and yet there's a really difficult time that I'm seeing here when it comes to letting go. I sense with this King person, this person might have a difficult time even leading themselves. And I'm not passing judgment on anything that I'm saying here. I want to make that very clear. All of these cards have light attributes and shadow attributes, and I think that both of these people are showing up in both light and shadow attributes. And there's no judgment here or anything. I'm just wanting to express clearly what it is that I'm sensing, or what it is that these cards are showing me. And I get the feeling that this King person has somewhat of a difficult time even leading themselves, but also feeling perhaps a little bit out of touch with the emotional world of those around them. This person seems to be very much so focused on themselves first and foremost, and then on others in relation to them second. And person 2 is showing up as somebody who is very much crazy, or not like crazy, but like crazy about, or very much devoted, very passionate, feeling very passionate towards this other person. But I kind of sense that there may be some refusal or denial on this person's end to accept that perhaps hoping things are going to change when they haven't thus far could potentially be deemed as self-destructive for this person. And while this king person obviously has responsibilities when it comes to the world around them, just in general, I think that this lover person is having a difficult time accepting the power that they themselves have in stopping the destruction from continuously occurring. I sense that there's a really, really strong attachment between these two people. And one thing that I'm getting is that when the cycle starts over again, it being renewed provides relief. Like I sense that there's an up and down cycle happening here in which one person feels abandoned. And then the moment this other person reaches out, there's relief for the two of them. But the cycle continues because with this impatience card, this is talking about forcing something that's not right or that's not ready yet. And because things are being forced, because there's this great need, I would say, to find relief in another person rather than kind of take a step back and question whether or not what's occurring is in your best interest or in the best interest of others. I think that this is leading to, a very destructive cycle is what I would say. This seems to be something that's very on again, off again. And I'm obviously not talking about connections that are abusive. And if you are inquiring about something like that, that's not what my readings are. And I'll post some resources in my description box for that. None of this is applying to connections that are unsafe. So please keep that in mind. These are general readings, and I don't want anyone to feel victim blamed or feel as though there's judgment here. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a cycle of kind of hot and cold, or running and chasing, and ups and downs, where the downs are really, really bad, and then once there's union, it's really, really good for a brief moment, because it's instant relief rather than kind of looking at things from a bigger picture, is what I would say. But that's what I'm seeing, and I'm sure that was very triggering if this is resonating. I'm sure this was not necessarily the best thing to hear, but if it's resonating, it's because you know that this is in fact what's happening. And I'm not passing judgment or anything like that, and if anything, I empathize with what's going on. This is very, very heavy. But let's go ahead, let's look into what's going to happen the next time the two of you see one another. Okay, what is going to happen between pile 2 and their person the next time they see one another? Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, the Ten of Wands, the Emperor, what is going to happen between pile 2 and their person? Okay, wow. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, the Emperor. We have the Seven of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Queen of Swords. Okay, why is the Knight of Pentacles reversed? We have the Seven of Swords. Okay, why is the Ten of Wands here? We have the Ten of Pentacles. Why is the Emperor here? We have the Lovers. Why is the Seven of Pentacles here? We have the Ace of Cups. Why is Temperance here? Okay, goodness. I'll take this one. So we have the Five of Swords, the Sun, and we have the Four of Cups. How do I want to do this? Maybe like that. And then why is the Queen of Swords here? Okay, we have the Nine of Swords, and then on the bottom of the deck we have the Five of Wands. Okay. So what is going to happen between the two of you the next time you see one another? So we have two cards here indicating selfishness. We have the Seven of Swords, and we also have the Five of Swords. And I'm sensing that this is something that is going to be coming through the next time the two of you see one another. And because we have the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords here, I feel as though this Emperor is really highlighting the manipulative nature that the Emperor can sometimes be in when there's blockages or when things are out of balance. And I sense that the next time the two of you see one another, there's going to be manipulation at hand in order for one person to get what it is that they want. And what they want is union or connection. But I don't necessarily know if, so obvious, like, I feel like you're probably the person who isn't going to be the manipulative one. And obviously if you have plans to be manipulative, then I guess that's a different story. But it feels like your person is going to attempt to control the situation in some kind. And I feel as though it's not going to be met in the way in which they thought it was going to be met with. I sense that there is an aha moment for you with the Sun, Temperance, the Five of Swords, and the Four of Cups. There's an understanding within yourself of perhaps slowing down the cycle of what has transpired between the two of you in the past. And there's a revelation with the Sun here. This is like a wake-up call, and there's a realization that there's selfishness and there's no winning in this situation currently. And because of that, with the Four of Cups, I sense you're going to be rejecting this person's advances when it comes to them trying to control or lead this connection or you in a certain way. And I don't think that this is necessarily going to be something that's very easy for you with the Queen of Swords and the Nine of Swords. I feel like this is an opportunity for you to really step into your power, to really step into what it is that you deserve. But that's not to say that it's easy. With this Nine of Swords here, it seems to be something that you might be kind of questioning within yourself, or be really worried about the outcome in the end. But from what I'm seeing here, it seems like you're standing up for yourself. This Five of Wands is the energy of somebody standing up for themselves, of not necessarily allowing themselves to be used or played. And I sense a release of some kind with this Ten of Wands. I sense a release so that something better can come your way, something that's stable and happy and healthy and long-term. If long-term is something that you're looking for, I feel as though the next time the two of you see one another, there's going to be a clear path and a clear understanding of this person's motives, that I think is going to change the course of this connection. I sense like a shift from the energy of needing instant relief or wanting to relieve any discomfort without regard to what the consequences are. I see a shift from that impulsiveness to a shift in which there's recognition and desire to look at the long-term effects of the choices that we make. And I see like a new choice being made with this Ace of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. I see a choice being made for you, by you, that's in your best interest and in the best interest of your future self. And granted, you don't have to do this by any means, but I do sense that the next time the two of you see one another, you're going to be presented with an opportunity to kind of change the path that this connection has been taking. Yeah, let's go ahead and get some oracles and see what else comes through. What is going to happen between pile 2 and their person the next time pile 2 sees them? Okay, so we have Rainbow Transference, number 21. Number 1, Suppressions of a Star Being by Hands Unworthy. We have number 11, Good Things. We have number 19, The Messenger. And we have number 31, Cornucopia. And then on the back of the deck, we have number 35, Left Out with the Wolves. So I feel as though, we also have Slimy. I feel as though this next interaction is going to be instigated by your person. We had Message in a Bottle earlier, and now we have the Messenger. And I feel as though this person is going to be contacting you. And there's a realization here. This is a really powerful and intense card. Suppression of a Star Being by Hands Unworthy. It's like there's this opportunity for you to realize how magical and worthy you are and how unworthy this person is. There's a revelation of some kind, and in this revelation comes the opportunity to change course. With Rainbow Transference here, there's a transfer of energy or a transfer of even understandings within yourself that are leading you to good things, to things that are more abundant. And I sense you rejecting this person with Left Out with the Wolves being the bottom of the deck energy. I sense that you are going to be provided an opportunity to reject this person and to open up more doors for yourself for good things to come in. But that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to their connection? we have don't take it personally. If someone starts to speak unkindly to me, I'll remember that they've got something going on that has nothing to do with me. Like maybe they just pooped their pants. Yes, that's probably it. I don't think I've ever gotten that card before. And then we have letting go. I don't dwell on bad things that happened. I let things go because I have enough heavy things to carry around. And also, grudges aren't a great look. Okay, and then let's also go ahead and get a few more cards. Whoops. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to their connection? We have surrender. I can release my need to control. What advice is there for pile 2? And we have death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. There's definitely encouragement here to explore the idea of perhaps moving on from this connection. However, I don't necessarily like interpreting advice cards for people. I did get a request to share my interpretation, but I think that this is a very personal part of a reading in which your intuition should really help guide you if possible. So please, if that isn't resonating what I just said, obviously you have free will and you know your situation best. But this is what I'm seeing for you guys, pile 2. Please know that I truly am wishing you nothing but the best, and you deserve all the happiness in the world, pile 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. And yeah, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, so that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi pile 3! So today's pick a card reading is looking into what is going to happen the next time the two of you see one another. And I already have oracle cards here indicating what is currently going on energetically between the two of you, as well as how each one of you is currently showing up in this connection. If this resonates, then we'll go ahead and get on into what's going to happen. If this doesn't resonate, this probably isn't your pile, and there might be a different message for you in another pile, or there might not be a message. And as always, I'd like to offer somewhat of a trigger warning if there's anything that you're not necessarily wanting to hear. Perhaps now is not the time to watch this video. I'm only ever going to be honest about what I'm seeing in the cards, but just because what the cards are saying is a certain message doesn't necessarily mean that it's your message. So please, if it doesn't resonate, don't accept it as your message. But let's go ahead and get on into it. So we have mysticism. Person number 1 is showing up as hedonist. The light attributes are inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. The shadow attributes are pursues pleasure to the detriment of health and indulges at the expense of others. And Don Juan. The light attribute is spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. And the shadow attribute is using your power of romantic attraction for private agendas. We also have number 35, loyal heart, number 37, courage, and for person number 2, we have the detective. And the light attributes are great powers of observation and intuition, desires to seek out the truth, and the shadow attributes are voyeurism and falsifying information. Okay, so what is currently happening between the two of you? I sense that this is interesting. There's definitely a calling here with mysticism. There's a calling to accept the unknown, or to know that not everything is meant to be understood or revealed at this point in time. And so I sense that there might be a little bit of confusion or a little bit of a misunderstanding between the two of these people currently. And also, but I feel like there's an understanding that not everything is meant to be known at this time. There's also an element of like I'm looking at these cards and I don't see anything here indicating that there's like hard feelings or estrangement, like the two of you could be separated, but also there could just be a dynamic that's happening between the two of you currently while you are in contact. I sense that this person number one, the hedonist and the Don Juan, is somebody who is very much focused on their happiness, on perhaps like doing fun things. This person seems to be somebody who probably is very attractive, very beautiful, especially to the detective person. I think the detective person is having more of a difficult time with just accepting things as they are. It seems like perhaps this connection in the past was really headed in a really positive direction. And then it kind of changed a little bit. The dynamic changed between the two of these people. And I sense that this person number one is more understanding of how people and feelings and outside experiences can sometimes affect connections, whereas person number two seems to be having more of a difficult time just accepting things and really needs to have logical, clear, concise answers for their questions. And I think that that's currently what they're kind of doing. It seems like person number two is kind of ruminating or replaying certain scenarios in their head currently. I think this connection is or was a connection that really required the two of these people to be vulnerable, and to kind of put themselves out there in ways in which they hadn't done in the past. And it might even be that the two of these people feel, or one of these people feel, as though it's going to take a great deal of courage to kind of bring this connection back to where it was if there's been like a sudden change. But there's no ill feelings here. With loyal heart being at the center of this reading, I feel like both parties still care very deeply for one another. I don't sense anything indicating like the two of these people had like a huge falling out where there were like unforgivable things said. It just seems like things kind of shifted that were outside of the control of these people. Like they were being called in different directions, or one person really needed to work on something else outside of this connection. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So if that resonates, let's go ahead and look into what's going to happen the next time you two see one another. Okay. What is going to happen between pile 3 and their person the next time they see one another? Okay, so we have the 8 of Cups. We have the Lovers. We have Justice, the Chariot. We have the 3 of Cups. Why is the 8 of Cups here? We have Judgment. Why is the Lovers here? We have the 5 of Pentacles. Why is Justice here? We have the 7 of Cups. Why is the Chariot here? We have the 9 of Wands. And why is the 3 of Cups here? we have the Eight of Wands. And then on the back of the deck, we have the King of Wands. Okay, so what is going to happen between the two of you the next time you see one another? Okay, so there's going to be really clear communication here with the Three of Cups and then the Eight of Wands. This is telling me that there is going to be this is going to be a happy occasion. Like it's something that perhaps is unexpected, like perhaps the two of you run into each other, or I mean it could be that there's like a party, or it could be that one of you kind of reaches out and invites the other one to go do something. But I don't necessarily see, like if this was a romantic connection, which is kind of what it appeared to be with the last cards, I don't necessarily see this connection coming back into union in a romantic way. It might be that one of you attempts to kind of bring it into union in that way, but the Five of Pentacles is kind of a card of rejection at times, and I sense that one person is going to be rejected in this regard. It seems like this connection is really heading towards a friendship, and if anything else, like if that's not necessarily what you want, or if that's not necessarily what the other person wants, obviously then that's not going to happen. But I think that there's going to be an attempt of some kind at friendship, and in the process I think there's going to be a clear understanding of perhaps what didn't seem so clear in the past with that mysticism card, and then with the detective energy. It feels as though there are certain aspects that have not really been revealed to this connection so far. And with the Eight of Cups being a card all about seeking truth, and Judgment all about being kind of like a reckoning, I sense that both of these people, you and this person, are going to be coming out of this interaction between the two of you with a greater understanding of where you stand with one another, of how each one of you feels, of what it is that both of you want. And there's not going to be any room for confusion. And I see it with Justice and the Seven of Cups as well. The Seven of Cups is all about confusion, about not knowing what is real perhaps, or not knowing what to choose. And the Justice card is all about bringing things into balance. It's about making things right. And I sense that this is further confirmation that when the two of you see one another, clarity is going to be coming. And I don't necessarily see anything where, like, I feel like this connection is something that matters to the both of you. Like there's care here. It's just taking a different route for the time being. And I get the feeling that an opportunity is going to arise for the both of you to try to find a way in which to not give up on this connection, but find a way in which it works for the both of you. But I think that both of you are going to be coming out of this interaction feeling very much empowered and very much aware of what it is that you want, very much aware of what direction you individually are going to be taking next. It seems to be a very empowering connection for the two of you. But let's go ahead or interaction for the two of you. Let's go ahead and get some oracles and see if anything else comes through. Okay, what is going to happen between the two of these people? We have you can't find your goodness because you lost your heart. Number 39. We have puppet, the hold. Okay, we have can't be caught, and broken and hatched. Let's see, how am I going to do this? move these over. And then on the back of the deck, we have dream travel. Okay, so for some of you, this could be a dream type of interaction where suddenly truths are revealed that have been kind of kept from the both of you, and understanding is kind of revealed. But this is interesting. I sense like okay, how do I want to say this? Where do I want to start? I feel like one person is going to understand or come to a realization the next time the two of you come together that perhaps they were being kind of led by other people outside of themselves to make decisions or to find out what it is that they want, or perhaps they weren't being authentic when it came to what it is, who it is that they are, because basically they just wanted this connection to go a certain way. And I feel as though that's going to be released. There's an opportunity to release that. We have the hold and we have can't be caught. I do feel like one person is going to try to make some sort of romantic offer, and I sense that one of you is not necessarily in a place in which that is going to happen. And I think that there's going to be honesty about this, and while it might be something that feels very devastating, with you can't find your goodness because you lost your heart, I don't necessarily feel as though either person in this connection is attempting to be cruel by any means, or is attempting to lead on another person. This to me feels like emotional unavailability, or it feels like a realization that there is a lot of self-work that needs to be done before either one or the both of you can truly be authentic and be your own individual selves. And there's nothing wrong or innately cruel about being emotionally unavailable, so long as there's honesty and gentleness with that. And I sense that that is kind of what's coming through, is there's a level of honesty and truth that is going to be revealed that frees the two of you. Frees the two of you to new opportunities to continue to grow. I feel as though this connection or this interaction is going to be something that's just so empowering for the both of you, and it might feel somewhat uncomfortable, but there's going to be great healing involved within this connection for the both of you, or within this interaction for the both of you. But let's go ahead and get some advice before we end this reading. What advice is there for pile 3 when it comes to their connection? Gentleness, yes. That's exactly what I was talking about with that emotional unavailability. So it says, I speak with gentleness and I listen with gentleness. I align with the gentlest part of myself, and I take joy in being receptive, open, and unafraid. I am like a baby deer who's best friends with a baby elephant. The baby elephant wraps its little trunk around my shoulders, and we lie down gently on the grass, daydreaming and talking about what sorts of humans the clouds look like. And we have personal growth. More of this energy that I've been talking of this being something really empowering for the two of you. But this says personal growth. As I move toward greater consciousness, I feel old thoughts and habits fall away. Like training wheels on a bike, they helped me get to where I am. But now that I can ride, I don't need those slow and crummy wheels, except when I'm making bike analogies. So I think that, for this card in particular, there's encouragement to be open to the growth the opportunities for growth that are being presented to you. Let's also get some of these. What advice is there for pile 3? Okay, we have blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Yeah, this kind of goes hand in hand with the puppet and the hold, where I was feeling like one person is kind of looking outside of themselves for in order to feel good or in order to feel complete. And this card is calling for you or this other person to kind of come back within and give yourself what it is that you need. But obviously you know your situation best. I had somebody ask me to kind of give an interpretation, and I typically don't, just because I feel as though the advice cards are very personal and will either resonate or not resonate for you. And there's so many ways in which this situation could apply to you and many other people. I don't necessarily feel like my interpretation might be the best interpretation for you when you know your situation best. So if that doesn't resonate, by all means, ignore what I just said. What advice is there for pile 3 when it comes to this connection? Okay, we have worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. I think that I feel like half and half of this audience for this pile is going to either be the person who perhaps is like stepping away from this connection, or the person who is kind of like still seeking out a romantic type of connection. And I feel as though this advice really kind of showcases that, where there's, you know, gentleness and personal growth. And I think that personal growth is for anyone in this reading. But then we have blame and worry and abundance. And it seems like there's certain advice for depending on like which person you are in this connection. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. And please don't ever let a tarot card reading on YouTube ruin your day. Know that I'm wishing you the best, pile 3, and I hope that I will have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi, pile 4. So today's pick a card reading is what is going to happen the next time the two of you see one another. And how we're going to do this is I have oracles here indicating what the current energy between the two of you is, as well as how each one of you is currently showing up. If that resonates, then we'll pull tarot to see what's going to happen the next time you see one another. We'll also get oracles, and then we'll end with advice. As always, I'd like to offer a trigger warning. I'm only ever going to be honest about what it is that I'm seeing in the cards. But that doesn't mean that the message that I'm seeing in the cards is the message for you. So if something doesn't resonate, please don't let it ruin your day. Please take what resonates, leave the rest, or perhaps find another pile or a different video if there is no message here for you today. But to start, we have isolation. We also have number 50, no place like home. Number 47, go the distance. And number 18, water. Person number 1 is showing up as Midas/miser. The light attributes are entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything into gold, delight in sharing life's riches, and the shadow attributes are hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. And person 2 is showing up as God. The light attributes are benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. And the shadow attributes are despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. And we have guide. The light attribute represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. And the shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. So I would say for a huge portion of you, because the message is coming through very strongly here, that for a very big portion of you, this is a long distance connection. And I feel like it could even be like a long distance connection where you two are separated by a large body of water. It could also be that there's been a separation in which the two of you used to live together, and now that is no longer the case. But what's coming through the strongest with these cards is that both of these people are really longing for the other and are really feeling the other's absence. There's a lot of longing, reminiscing, and desiring to go back, a desire to work on things. And there's like both of these people are still very much in their feelings about this connection, is what I would say. But this seems to be something where both of these people are kind of like really keeping themselves in check, or are really in balance right now, in the sense of like these people are acknowledging the distance, whether that's physical or just emotional distance that's between the two of them, but they're not allowing it to make it so that their whole world is crumbling. I see two people who are very secure in themselves and are doing their best to still find joy and live their best life. I sense that like one of you might really be focusing more so on your spirituality at this time. Or they might be focusing more so on serving others, serving their community, really being a resource for others at this time. Whereas one of you, I feel like is... I do feel like both of these people are probably really seeking insight, direction, and comfort within their community, whether or not that's their family, their friends. There's definitely, like, these people feel isolated from one another, but they don't seem to be isolating themselves from the rest of the world. But I think for this other person, there's definitely an aspect here of like them focusing on other goals, or recognizing that the other goals in their life still matter and are still valuable and important to them, and so they're focusing on that. That could be like a financial goal, a business goal, it could just be like a career goal, or even a goal within their own hobbies. There's things that they're focusing on to bring them joy, both of these people, while this connection is in separation. So if that resonates, let's go ahead and look into what it is that is going to happen between the two of you the next time you see one another. Okay. What is going to happen between pile 4, okay, and their person? Let me get this card, it flipped. Okay. So we have Temperance, the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Five of Cups. What is going to happen between pile 4 and their person the next time they see one another? We have the Queen of Pentacles. Why is the Temperance card here? Why is Temperance here? We have Justice. Why is the Knight of Cups here? Why is the Knight of Cups here? We have the Six of Cups. Why is the Nine of Wands reversed? Okay, we have the Page of Wands. Why is the Five of Cups here? We have Strength. And why is the Queen of Pentacles here? we have the Nine of Swords. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Devil. Okay. So what is going to happen the next time the two of you see one another, the next time you two connect? I feel very strongly as though, first off, like this is going to be something that brings about a lot of different feelings. The Six of Cups is all about reunions, people coming back from your past, nostalgia, apologies. It's a very happy card, very loving, very warm. And I sense that that is definitely an energy that, or a feeling that is going to be coming to the surface. But there's also going to be a reminder of what's been lost. There's hurt here as well. Hurt and also a little bit of nervousness or anxiety. I sense like this Nine of Swords is kind of like indicating like a nervous, kind of like shy kind of energy of like perhaps you and this person weren't expecting to see each other, and there's like just like anxiety around it. Anxiety of like making sure you seem, or they seem well, like they're doing well. Like there's a worry here about appearing in a really positive way. And I think with all of these feelings coming through, the both of you are going to be realizing that perhaps this connection, even in isolation, hasn't necessarily caused the feelings to actually go away. There's still a lot of attraction here, a lot of desire for one another, and still the two of you still feel very connected to one another. I sense that like maybe there might be an apology here if something happened between the two of you in which an apology is owed to you, or an apology is owed to this person. I sense an opportunity for this to kind of come about with Temperance and Justice. This is very healing energy. And Justice is all about righting past wrongs, about bringing things into balance. And same with Temperance. Temperance has the same kind of energy of like slowing things down, making sure things are balanced, not keeping things in check. And the Knight of Cups is all about romance, emotional offers. This is a very loving feeling. And the Six of Cups is about apologies. It's about coming back together. So this is definitely going to be something where there is an opportunity to mend, to heal. And I see it again with Strength and the Five of Cups. Strength is also a card that at times can indicate healing. It can indicate gentleness. There's like I feel as though the two of you are going to be approaching this interaction in a very gentle and compassionate way towards the wounds that the two of you perhaps share or have received because of this ending. And I kind of feel like there's a release of some kind, not so much like a release of perhaps this connection coming to a close entirely, but more so like an element of relief. Like the Nine of Wands is a card about resiliency, of not giving up after battle, and it's reversed, and we have the Page of Wands clarifying it. I feel like finally the walls can come down, or the facade can kind of be broken, and the two of you can kind of, like I was sensing with these cards over here, it seems as though each person, both people, are kind of trying to do the healthy thing and continue on with their lives, but it seems as though it might be something that's been very hard, and something that a lot of effort has to be put into. And there's, the next time you meet, there's going to be this ability to kind of like let go of needing to be resilient, of needing to be strong, and of like kind of just like exploring this together, exploring those feelings together. But that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and look into the oracles and see what else comes through. What is going to happen between pile 4 and their person? We have number 40, love grows love. Number 27, something that is never truly yours. we have number 53, make it look like the night. Where did it go? And we have suppression of a star being by hands unworthy. And then on the back of the deck, we have twin. Very interesting. And then underneath that, we have dependency. And I'm going to go ahead and take that too, because I think that these two cards are very much the same as this devil energy. Okay, so what is going to happen the next time the two of you see one another? I sense that there is, you know, with this devil card here, there's attraction. There's still a connection here. Like the two of you are going to still feel very drawn to each other, but the devil is about attachments. And with twin here and dependency, this is kind of giving me the energy of like two people who still feel very bound to one another. And I sense that like there might be, how do I want to say it? There might be a need to kind of challenge this feeling in a way. I sense that there might be a little bit of insecurity here with suppression of a star being by hands unworthy coming out over the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. I sense that like one or both of you might be feeling insecure for some reason. Like perhaps this interaction caught you off guard, or perhaps you're not necessarily feeling your best when this interaction occurs. But like I don't necessarily think that like anyone else is going to be able to pick up on it with make it look like the night. It seems like this is going to be like something that's happening within your own emotional worlds rather than something that the other person can pick up on. I sense like a release of some kind, again, with something that is never truly yours. There seems to be a release of like needing to be strong, of needing to appear a certain way, or even like a release of what the two of you were holding on to from the past when it came to what hurt you. There's relief here and release. And in this interaction, we have love grows love. I think it's interesting that all of these cards came out in a way that kind of follow the order of the message of the tarot. With all of these loving cards here, we have this love grows love. With this release here, we have something that's never truly yours. And then with these two insecure cards, we have the cards that are kind of sad. And then with this codependent type of energy, we have the devil. So like this is just confirming, like it's further confirmation of what the tarot has already said. But that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing two people who recognize that there is still a lot of love here. I'm seeing two people who are going to be given the opportunity to release something, as well as the opportunity to see patterns or see aspects of themselves that require more love or care. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. Okay. What advice is there for pile 4 when it comes to their connection? We have playfulness. I am a playful participant in life, and I always have the option to make something a fun game rather than a heavy burden. Mary Poppins put sugar in the medicine for a reason. That lady really knows how to party. And you know what? The Page of Wands is all about adventure, exploration. Like, it's a very lighthearted, fun, exciting card, being clarified by this Nine of Wands that's reversed. And I think that like there might even be an aspect of this in which things from the past are just kind of like forgotten immediately because there's so much excitement and joy in seeing the other person. And I think this is advice. Obviously, playfulness is advice for this pile, but I also think that there's a message here for kind of clarification on what's going to be happening. What advice is there for pile 4? when it comes to their connection. Okay, and we have divine timing. Everything is timing, and timing is everything. Gladly, I release my concern over timing and let things happen when and as they will. I trust that the divine schedule makers know what they're doing. It can take a long time to reach divine middle management. Okay, and then let's go ahead and get some of these. What advice is there for pile 4 when it comes to their connection? We have growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. And we have forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. All right, pile 4. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you guys today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. Please know that I am wishing you nothing but the best and all of the happiness in the world, pile 4. You deserve it. You're worthy of it. And I hope that I will have the opportunity to read for you in another video soon. Bye.